Hi friends, this is Daniel with Inuit. Today we're going to build a bookkeeping agent as fast as we can do it. I'm going to start by using Rustledger. Rustledger is a plain text accounting ledger tool. I'm also going to use for my agent, the Pi agent. It is a minimal agent which powers OpenClaw. There are many agent harnesses, but this one is yours. And we'll make it ours here. Now, of course, when OpenClaw comes up, people usually are concerned about what it can do. We wanted to actually look in the code and look for what tools the agent has. We can see here that these are all the tools, and we want to make this a bookkeeping agent. We want to limit its power to managing books. So I'm going to get rid of these bash tool calls. Edit operations, you still need to edit files, that's fine. We'll probably restrict it to a directory. Find operations, it's helpful to find. Grep similarly is a means of searching for a specific text. It is not harmful. List operations, that allows us to list files in a directory or directories. Reading files, again, I'm not too concerned about that. Write operations, again, we maybe want to restrict that so that we're not writing arbitrary things, but we can write, if it's a bean count extension file, then we'll allow it to write that in a specific directory, and that should be good. So I'm just going to go start my project. Pi agent is in the JavaScript ecosystem, so we will use npm as our package manager. I will init. This provides me the basic files I need to manage a JavaScript library. You can see it created this package JSON. The other thing I want to do is I want to track this in version control. Anytime you're making changes in a folder or dealing with multiple files, it's advisable to have a Git repository to track your changes so you don't lose anything. More on that later. So if I do git status, you can see that I am now tracking my file changes. I've only added this one package JSON, which is fine. And the package JSON just tells this is the Rustledger Pi project. This is where we just prompt AI to do the project. Build a bookkeeping agent using the Pi agent, which has the Pi coding agent tools. That was the tools we were looking at just a second ago, as well as a tool to call Rustledger. Do not include bash tools. Those are the commands that let us run arbitrary things on the computer. We don't need that level of power for this agent. Only allow writing files that are bean count format in the working directory, and also only allow editing files that are bean count files in the working directory. As this is a demo project, please include documentation in the README about how the project works. And now, if I really wanted to do this right, I would also not do this on auto, not just feed this in, but actually create some sort of a plan. I use Cursor. It's an IDE kind of experience. I know Claude Code is popular. In Cursor, you can use these planning modes, and that allows us to, before we just run off and go and do something, we first start by having a conversation where we create a plan file. And then based on that plan file, this agent is a lot more organized about how it goes and tackles the problem. So we'll use that. I also selected a model instead of using auto because you want to use a stronger model that is able to reason and work on more broad problems. I'm just going to assume that the plan is good. It always has a to-do section at the bottom where it helps guide the work of a future agent. We can see now that I click build, it popped back out into the auto mode, which is fine for this case. So the problem is that node modules is all the dependencies, and that is a very large folder. I forgot to include git ignore, where I could ignore the node modules folder. And env. And anything else it wants to tab complete. Alright, looks like it runs. Let's give it a try. If I do npm run start, no. Guess you have to figure out what the actual things you can run are. Let's check. Oh, agent. npm run agent. And now we can see that the agent is creating a fictitious ledger for a fictitious company. The important thing is that the actual numbers will square up. It's an actual working ledger. It's not vibing that. It is using the Rustledger tool to validate everything. This is incredibly powerful if that's what you're trying to do, is get 100% accuracy. You cannot farm out 100% accuracy, unfortunately. To a language model, the best you can do is give it access to a tool that is deterministic, and then the language model is forced to live within the confines of that system. So here's our ledger. It is a Acme consulting company for the 2025 tax year, 300 transactions. So that was about 25 minutes. And here's a bookkeeping agent. Does the books.